Hi guys, happy Valentine's! Lately, I see so many treat makers asking, how much would you charge? So today we're pricing these 4 best-selling Valentine's Day treats. We have the very sweet chocolate-covered strawberry bouquet, conversation hard hot cocoa cups, as well as the Better Together cake pop baskets, and the Love You S'more gift box. From shopping for inventory, finding the best deals at the stores, to putting the treats together, I'm showing you the process start to finish and including all the calculations with the packaging to ensure your small business is making a profit on all your hard work. And if you need more help organizing and practicing your calculations, I have a mini ebook with all the charts and equations written directly in front of you that will be posted tomorrow on my Etsy shop. The link will be available in the description box down below. So be sure to keep on watching and let's create something magical! Heading over to Walmart for low prices and a big selection. This is the best deal I've seen for strawberries at $5.57 for 2 pounds of berries. As for cake pops, we all love funfetti, except the dough turns gray when kneading in the mixer. All the Pillsbury costs $1.37, so instead I grab the yellow mix and add my own sprinkles, or other fun Valentine flavors are red velvet and strawberry. Their great value brand sprinkles are essential for decorating. I got their red sanding sugar and Valentine nonpareils for $1.77 each. Next, for my hot cocoa cups, I picked up this value pack of 30 Swiss Miss for $7.92. I thin out my chocolate with refined coconut oil, and since my wholesale club no longer sells it, the next cheapest alternative is the great value 56-ounce container for $13.63. The tin pails in the Valentine section are a steal at 97 cents for treat baskets, as well as their decorative ribbon for 98 cents. Those were some of my Walmart must-haves, but feel free to browse and look around the store for anything else. Next stop is Dollar Tree. My favorite find for any arrangement is this pretty pink vase for $5. You can't beat this price anywhere. Also, the floral foam inserts save time and product without having to cut them, or if you can't find those, the blocks are near the craft aisle. The seasonal section also has tin pails if you were unable to get luck at Walmart. And in the party section, there's paper shred and tissue paper at $1.25 each for your affordable packaging supply needs. As for chocolate, I stock up from my local chocolate supply store. When achieving super vibrant colors like a Valentine red, you could go through bottles of pricey coloring. My hack is using the Classen's red wafers as a base at $6.29 per pound, and pastels like yellow, pink, and green are all Merkins at the same price. They always have seasonal sprinkle mixes. The Valentine Jimmies are $5.29 per container. Buying in bulk at your wholesale club is best for large orders. Here I shop for all the ingredients to make cake pops, except for the cake mix. A 12-pound bag of flour to prep my cake pan is $8.49, and a value pack of 2 dozen eggs is $8.99, as well as $16.99 for a 3-pack of Land O'Lakes. Those prices are even more marked down with coupons when I clip and save $1 off the eggs and $2 off the butter on the app. Always take a look at whatever deals are being offered. Last item is a gallon of milk at $3.63. The last few stores are Target and other miscellaneous supermarkets to buy whatever else I need before going on Amazon. A 10-ounce bag of conversation hearts was $4.29, and the price of their marshmallows was $2.89 for jumbo and $1.59 for mini. To pair them off with chocolate graham crackers for my s'mores, my local supermarket had both Honey Maid and their store brand, which was a better buy at $3.19, and I needed vanilla wafers, which were only $1. Now that we're all done shopping for ingredients and supplies, let me show you how I priced and made all of these treats. First item is the Berry Sweet Bouquet of chocolate strawberry roses. This demonstration is an easier example and has less supplies. Start by jotting down the basic materials like strawberries, red melting wafers, your thinning agent like coconut oil or paramount crystals, any candy coloring, and bamboo skewers, then the amount you spent on each item, making any necessary conversions to break them down further. My tip is that the red Classens wafers are the brightest shade I've tried before. All I did was melt the 1 pound bag of that. Notice how vibrant it looks on its own without any coloring, and only mixed in 4 drops of red Chef Master to slightly bump it up. This trick will be much easier and cheaper than dyeing white chocolate melts. Get ready to dip and skewer all the berries. To find the price per berry, divide the total cost of the carton by the number in the container. Mine had 30 strawberries in there, coming out to 19 cents per berry, and the same for bamboo skewers. $7.99 divided by 200 count is 4 cents per skewer. And to calculate the cost per dozen, simply multiply those amounts for each individual item by 12 and record all the information in your chart. Before molding the shape of the roses, I completely coat the berries first. In order to create a smooth, fluid dipping consistency, I added 3 tablespoons of refined coconut oil to 1 pound of my chocolate to thin it out. As I mentioned earlier, this is where to make your conversions by taking a look at the label on the back of the tub and find the cost per serving in tablespoons or ounces, whichever your measurement is. There's 112 tablespoon servings in the tub, so 1363 over 112 servings equals 12 cents per tablespoon, and multiply by the 3 tablespoons used for 36 cents worth of coconut oil, which is extremely cost effective as a thinning agent. To keep your strawberries looking fabulous, I recommend placing upright in floral foam to avoid the flat backs. Then go ahead and pour the same batch of red chocolate into each cavity with a silicone pouring cup. Keep in mind for the 2-step process of dipping and molding, you will need the full 1 pound bag of chocolate to make 1 dozen roses. Now that all the basic materials are in the chart, the other important component when selling your goods is to include any packaging. Let's add up what we have so far on the basic materials alone. There's half a dozen berries in the arrangement, so everything in the middle column is cut in half. However, I will do a comparison of 1 dozen berries without the vase to show you the difference in pricing. Here for the arrangement, my vase cost $5 and the tissue paper was $1.25. Since there's 24 sheets in the package, that comes out to 5 cents per sheet. And a nice presentation is to double the paper and fold on a diagonal. Then repeat to make it symmetrical on the other side with another double sheet, which means I used 4 sheets of tissue paper. Multiplied by 5 cents per sheet is 20 cents to wrap my arrangement. The key is having 2 types of tape to help with assembly. I attached the halves of tissue paper with about 4 pieces of magic tape and flipped it over to reveal a seamless look. The second part of assembly is putting the bundles together. I take 3 of the strawberries and trim the skewers with a clipper. The idea is to keep both of the berries on the ends shorter by slightly trimming them down, and the one in the center is longer. It's okay if they're moving around, just secure the bundle with a few pieces of packing tape and continue assembling another bundle of 3 berries just like that. Being that strawberries are made to order and dipped either overnight or in the same day, I charge more labor and overhead costs than I would for treats that are less perishable, which I will explain in a few moments. I finished layering the bundles over the tissue paper and tie super tight with a sturdy stringer cord. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. And the last of the packaging supplies was the roll of Valentine ribbon from Walmart. After sliding the tissue paper into the vase, the ribbon was 98 cents and I used 1/3 of the roll to tie into a bow. In this example, you will learn how quickly everything adds up. Most of the totals are calculated for what was spent and how much product was used to make the bouquet. All that's missing are the labor and overhead. Labor is your hourly rate of how much you pay yourself based on experience level and how long it takes you to make the treats. I set my hourly rate for $15, and overhead are any extra expenses like travel and gas, trips to the store, or utilities and equipment. Berries are a premium item done very last minute and require more time picking them out fresh. The struggle is real to find them evenly sized. So based on those factors, your overhead may vary. For mine, I charged $8. Keep an eye on the total in the middle column, which is the cost per arrangement. That's the first number we're plugging into the equations. These formulas and equations are the secret sauce for figuring out a 25% profit. Take that green number from the cost per arrangement column and divide that by 6 berries in the arrangement. Then divide that number by 3. This number will help you mark up the price to ensure you make your profit. And the gross profit margin equation is to check yourself. In this case, it should equal 25% when the calculations are done correctly. And last, for how much you're charging, just multiply the markup value by 6 berries, coming out to $46 for the arrangement. Another perspective is comparing that to the price for 1 dozen of them alone. The calculations came out to $44 for what you would charge at nearly the same price but $2 less. If you're selling the dozen and want to keep the packaging lower cost, other budget options to offer are long bakery boxes sold in bulk or bundle the bouquet in tissue paper, because although the vase was from Dollar Tree, it significantly bumped up the price. The second item we're pricing are Conversation Hard hot cocoa cups in pretty pastel colors. They're sold in a 3-pack box and have additional decorations and materials like cocoa mix, mini marshmallows, candy, and drizzling chocolate. My simple shortcut doesn't require a mold. Get your hands on mini paper bathroom cups and cut a slit down the middle. Then hold it shut with tape for easy release. Since the bulk of the price is from the amount of chocolate, I highly recommend this method to conserve as much product as possible. Each paper cup used approximately 2 1/4 ounces of chocolate, and the Merkins pre-colored wafers really came in handy to achieve the pastel shades. I only had to mix in 1 drop of the Chef Master candy colors since the shades are on the lighter side. That tip is definitely helpful for orders involving multiple colors. The cocoa cups are so fun to make this way and streamline the process, meaning that the labor cost is going to be less for this item. Pour the excess chocolate back into a silicone cup to save for later. Once the chocolate is completely set, just peel the tape to pop it out. As you can see, the walls on the cup are nicely shaped without being as thick as it would be with an actual mold. The assembly goes so fast when everything is organized. Swirl the cup onto your choice of a warm plate or mug warmer for a few seconds to slightly melt down the rim, and fill the inside with your favorite marshmallows. I forgot to film these cute strawberry hearts that were $1.99 from Target, and the other bulk of the price for the basic materials comes from the hot cocoa mix. Into the cups, I added 1 ounce of Swiss Miss into each one. The value pack of 30 from Walmart is 26 cents per packet. Shake down the cocoa to settle it out. The decorating part is very minimal. After sealing up the cups with a pool of melted chocolate, slide a striped straw in there. My pink straws here costed 7 cents each for the decorating materials category. The remaining decorating materials are mini marshmallows to arrange on top. Notice the level of difficulty to decorate these was very simple and straightforward. Even though the chocolate roses didn't require any advanced decorating, what sets them apart is that the berries need to be done very last minute due to their perishability. Instead, the cocoa cups have much more flexibility with buying and storing the ingredients to prepare ahead of time, which means the labor and overhead costs are automatically lower. I stuck on the marshmallows with a dot of chocolate by stacking into 2 puffy layers and took out the colors I had left over to remelt and drizzle with a piping bag. I was sure to include the drizzle, conversation hard candies, and fondant all as components in the decorating. I pick 1 classic candy for each cup and roll the white fondant to create a border detail around the candy with a small hard plunger cutter, then press the candy down onto the fondant to look like little hard plaques to go on front of the cups. And you have the sweetest gifts all ready to be packed up. Last but not least, the clear boxes cost $168 each to display the colorful trio of cocoa cups. The goal for packaging is to fit snugly while clearing the top and sides, so feel free to cut down the straws if needed. From start to finish, the cocoa cups took me 30 minutes to mold, fill, and decorate, coming out to $7.50 for labor since my hourly rate is $15 and my overhead is $4. After plugging into the formulas, I would charge $25 for this 3-pack of Conversation Hard hot cocoa cups. A customer favorite are the Better Together cake pop baskets. To go about pricing cake pops, it's important to know how many servings are in your recipe. If you're familiar with mine, it makes 18 cake pops with 1 box of Pillsbury cake mix, 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 whole eggs, as well as half a cup of milk and 3/4 a cup of water. Usually I price my cake pops per dozen, but there are 6 in the basket. So to find the cost of the ingredients, I'm taking the $1.37 for the box of cake mix and dividing by 18 servings in the recipe, then multiply by 6 for the cost per half dozen. Next, you would continue calculating that way for the remaining ingredients with any conversions as needed. Be sure to include any additional tools when preparing the cake, such as parchment paper to grease and line your pan. In my cake pop tutorial on my channel, the secret to a smooth, firm dough is to sweat your cake right after it's done baking in the oven, which calls for cling wrap and tin foil. If you need more help with figuring out those type of calculations, I walk you through it step by step in my Valentine pricing ebook. Part 1 is done for the cake pop recipe and those extra tools for our basic materials. Once the cake has finished sweating, it's all set to go into the stand mixer without any frosting, so you won't find frosting as an item on my pricing chart. The sweating technique allows everything to come together effortlessly without being too greasy or falling off the stick. When the mixer starts jumping, as you can see from the dancing avocados, the dough pulls away from the sides of the mixing bowl and is literally ready to roll into all of our shapes. The customer requested funfetti flavor. Let's make it a party by pouring in 1/3 cup of Valentine jimmies. To prevent the colors from bleeding, you'll want to mix in the sprinkles by hand. These were the sprinkle mix for $5.29 from the chocolate supply store. Keep in mind 1/3 cup of sprinkles are the mix-ins for the entire dough recipe, so it comes out to 65 cents worth for the 6 pops in the baskets. The dough flavors can be switched around by substituting the flavor of Pillsbury as the base, like red velvet, strawberry, or chocolate, while keeping all the proportions and ingredients the same. It's my go-to for rolling crack-free shapes. There are 3 basic shapes for the designs in our basket. One is the adorable avocado with the egg mold from My Little Cake Pop. 2 is the heart mold for the red sanding sugar pops, and my scoop for the standard round ball. Regardless of the shape, the scoop portions out the dough to ensure there's enough to fill out the entire mold. My process is to grab about 1.5 to 2 scoops of dough and mash it into a big ball, trying to get it as crack-free as I can, and then squeeze the mold firmly shut to remove all the excess. And the finishing touches are to clean up the seam with a toothpick or lollipop stick. Now for the avocado, we're pretty much doing the same thing, except slightly tapering around the middle to look more like an oval. And let the egg mold do the rest of its magic. Squeeze, 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 and after cleaning up the seam, it will be much more realistic by giving it a gentle press on a silicone mat to flatten out the egg just a tiny bit. The basket only has 2 of each design, so being that we're only rolling half a dozen cake pops, the time for my labor is going to be less than if we were making them by the dozen. Begin by inserting the sticks. The clear acrylic are slightly more pricey than the regular, but are still clean and polished to upgrade the look. I match the color of melted chocolate to what the pops will be. Avocados in Merkin's light green, the heart in Classen's red, and the circles in Merkin's milk chocolate. We're about to get dipping and decorating. Don't be intimidated by the different designs. The best way of breaking it down is to keep track of how much chocolate was used to dip each design. Larger size cake pops like the avocados and hearts needed about 2.5 ounces of chocolate, so I was sure to note that next to the list of decorating supplies on my charts. With more time and experience, this will all come naturally as part of your routine. The standard round shape is a smaller piece of dough, which took 2 ounces total of Merkin's milk chocolate. The only 2-tone designs are the avocados, holding in dark green Merkins for a few seconds until coated around the edge. I was sure to add the extra chocolate in my chart. Let's dress up Mr. Avocado with beady eyes and pipe a curved smile with black chocolate, and 2 confetti sprinkles as his blushing cheeks. All he's missing is his pit in the center. I molded one as a heart so he can match his other half, Mrs. Avocado. I forgot to film attaching on her fashionable pink bow. I will share more info on how to price small decorations such as sprinkles. You can't go wrong with a red sanded heart in your basket selection. I apply a small amount of edible adhesive onto the hard cake pop and brush into a thin layer. Then sprinkle red sanding sugar over it. In regards to labor for the cake pops, overall I'm charging for the time it takes me to dip and decorate. You may be asking yourself how to even calculate for the most minuscule decorations, like say a sprinkle or 2. You want to charge a minimum fee for about 1/4 ounce and calculate that accordingly after finding the price per ounce on your sprinkle bottle or container. For example here, I calculated the fee at 1/2 ounce for a small handful of Valentine nonpareils, but a single hard sprinkle would be my minimum fee for 1/4 ounce. Estimating a ballpark accounts for something rather than nothing for your materials. On the round cake pop, my minimum fee for the cute Bizarro sprinkle was 25 cents and another 25 cents for the XOXO lettuce. The basket arrangement makes a sweet statement with everything being from Dollar Tree and Walmart. Drop your floral foam insert into the pail and firmly place the 6 pops in there, followed by some festive paper shred right over the foam. The chart has the packaging supplies, and my labor to dip and decorate the cake pops was 45 minutes at $11.25, and the final calculations put the grand total at $36 for the Better Together cake pop basket. The last item we're pricing for our Valentine's menu is this Love You S'more gift box that is 4 jumbo s'mores. All I did was find the cost per sheet of chocolate grams. The sheet has 2 pieces for the top and bottom. Into the top half, I pressed a flour nail through the center and twisted through with a chopstick to carve out a bigger circle. Checking that my silver straw slides through, ensuring there isn't a fail when we attach the s'more later on. The jumbo-sized marshmallows are plenty sticky, so there's no need to attach the straws with extra chocolate or anything. After putting the straw through the middle, they stay upright over a lollipop stick that's secured in a cake pop stand. Keep in mind the jumbo marshmallows took more chocolate to dip, 2 ounces for each marshmallow exactly, and the Merkin Super White is usually more expensive at $5.99 per pound, so I needed 8 ounces total to dip all 4 of the marshmallows, and I thinned it out with 1 tablespoon of coconut oil for a smooth coating. Consistency was also important for the drip detail along the top that was done with a squeeze bottle, which is the first part of the decorating. Once we have the perfect canvas to decorate, bring the s'mores buddies to life with the other pipe details for the smiley face and black chocolate, paired with pink flat sprinkles for the cheeks, adhered with a dot of edible glue onto each side. My favorite is the little love letter that are just sliced up vanilla wafers and don't require any dipping. Pipe a V across the top for the flap detail and close the envelope with a red heart sprinkle. Set them aside for later. It's time to stack the s'mores by piping a puddle of chocolate directly on the marshmallow and slide the gram that has the cutout down through the stick until it makes contact and stays flat. Complete the stack with the top half, and the finishing touches are to attach the letter onto the bottom gram, along with poppy paint for the reflections on his eyes by dipping a ball tool into the paint and lightly press on the surface with a light pressure. Then pipe on his curved arms to extend and make it look like he's holding the letter. The packaging was very reasonable. My bakery boxes were 59 cents each on Amazon. I'm sure you can find them even cheaper wholesale. The measurements are 8 by 5 by 2.5 to hold the 4 delicious s'mores, and fill in the empty areas with a few small handfuls of mini marshmallows. Everything took me a half hour to put together, so my labor equals $7.50, and the final calculations came out to $27 for the Love You S'more gift box. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I priced these 4 Valentine's Day treats and you learned something new. Give this video a thumbs up if you did, and be sure to refer to the mini pricing ebook as an extra resource to help your small treats business be successful. It's Christina here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.